Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, Dominion. Dominion is full to bursting with glorious Warhammer goodness. 2 full armies, each with several units, a powerful leader and ample support. It also includes the full core book with an exclusive cover plus loads of war scrolls and reference material. What's in the box? 21 Stormcast Eternals, 39 Cruel Boys Oryx, exclusive launch edition core book, 24-page booklet to get started, 14 War Scroll cards and 2 Allegiance ability cards. The first thing you'll find after pulling off the lid are the models. So many models, and every single one is amazing. There are 9 frames of plastic loaded with 21 Stormcast Eternals and 39 Cruel Boys. The cunning new breed of Oryx plaguing the mortal realms. Much more on them later. That's 60 of the best models to ever grace a Warhammer Age of Sigmar box set, including a centerpiece leader for each side. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at the armies included in Dominion. Stormcast Eternals. Yndrasta, the Celestial Spear. She's been tasked with a mission to hunt down the beast rising up across Gur, including the new Oryx Menace and ultimately Kragnos himself. As one of the near mythical lords of Azir, Yndrasta was forged by Sigmar's own hand and given a fraction of his godlike power. She takes to battle on angelic wings, hunting down the largest fiend she can find with spear and sword. Lord Imperatant with Gryph-hounds, these peerless leaders are the finest strategists in Sigmar's service, wielding the forces of the Stormcast Eternals as one unstoppable war engine. If you were wondering, the Lord Imperatant is indeed the main character who narrates the cinematic trailer. His very good boy, Gryph-hound Ironbeak, even has his own tiny hammer, adorable. Knight Arcanum, as keepers of ancient and forbidden lore, Knights Arcanum are eccentric wizards who are able to harness and channel the fulminating power of their fellow warriors to bring ruin to the enemies of Sigmar. Knight Vexillor with Banner of Apotheosis. The banners the Knights Vexillor carry contain a fragment of the Great Anvil upon which the Stormcast Eternals were forged. The power that radiates from them fortifies all those who fight nearby. Praetors. These elite and stylish bodyguards are soul bonded to the heroes they're charged to protect. Annihilators, hulking Goliaths that dish out pain as well as they can take it. They charge into battle with the force of a meteor. Vindictors, wielding lightning-based spears and shields, arcs are blazing Azraelite power from around them as they hold the battle line.
Cruel Boys Oryx.
But who exactly are the upgraded Stormcast Eternals going to be up against? Well, you can think of the new Crawl Boys, Oryx, as representing the other aspect of the twin-headed god, the Mork to the Iron Jaws Gork, if you will. Crawl Boys are still brutal, but their cunning makes them more amenable to picking off foes at range and stabbing someone in the back instead of charging in headlong. They make their homes in bogs, swamps and murky places, especially in Gur. When Kragnos began his rampage, the Crawl Boys took to him like a moth to flame. Worshipping him as destruction incarnate, the Crawl Boys are rising up all across the realms to join their kinfolk, and they're bringing some big, nasty beasts with them. These new additions to the Auric war clans have been designed with cues going way back to the early days of Warhammer. The leering faces on the red shields will no doubt feel familiar to hobbyists of certain vintage, while setting them apart from other Aurics. Leading the Crawl Boys from the bogs are the sadistic Killer Boss warlords. Killer Boss on Great Gnashed Hoof. These influential killer bosses often ride a ferocious boghound into battle. The beast's slavering jaws and looping speed make them well worth the trouble and possible loss of limb of taming. Swamp Cooler Shaman and Potgrot. Repulsive even by the standards of the Crawl Boys, Swamp Cooler wizards channel the foul magics of the swamp into toxins and vile elixirs to aid their kin. Swamp Cooler Shamans never leave home without a pot grot to stir the heedy broods. You just know that grot's the life of the victory party. Killer Boss with Stab Grot. Every killer boss is ruthless and ambitious, having backstabbed, poisoned, and otherwise disposed of anything that stood between them and their leadership goals. This vicious warlord is also accompanied by a brave little fella who's super into stabbing things and can be kicked in front of a blow meant for the killer boss. Does that basin detail count as another Stormcast Eternals model? That would make it 22. Merknob with Belcher banner, holding aloft icons wrought in the form of Kragnos, the living earthquake. These strange devices offer protection against enemy magic and flood the battlefield with choking swamp gas. Manskewer Bolt Boys. Oryx who embrace ranged weaponry are rare, but they can be found among the Crawl Boys. Bolt Boys coat the jagged tip of each bolt in a potent poison, mostly because they enjoy the death spasms the toxin causes. Gut Rippers. Armed with poison blades and scare shields, mobs of these troops comprise the stinking heart of Crawl Boys' armies. Hobgrot Slitters, diminutive allies of the Crawl Boys. Hobgrots lob strange, explosive devices and wield wicked daggers to deadly effect. What else is under the lid? After you've done poring over all the incredible models, you'll find a beautiful hardback core book with an exclusive textless front cover so you can see every detail of that stunning artwork. This massive 360-page tome accounts for some of the box's weight. It includes heaps of new background and artwork for every faction in the game, plus the best rule set and layout yet for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. In addition to the core book, you'll find reference cards for army-wide allegiance abilities, 14 war scrolls and a 24-page War at Amberstone Watch book to get you started. The best rule set ever. Not only are the models great, the Dominion box is also the best way to get a jump on the next edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Whether you are brand new to the game or you're a haggard veteran of the conflicts of the mortal realms, we wanted to bring you up to speed on the changes that make this the best rule set yet. In short, this edition has improved the game by no small margin. We'll be exploring it in more detail over the coming weeks, and we think old and new fans alike are going to love it. The action's more intense, the balance is better, and it's easier than ever to learn. The rulebook itself boasts a new layout style that's clearer and easier to understand. We'll have a lot more to say about it very soon. What's next after Dominion? That's not all for Dominion's magnificent armies. We couldn't resist showing you even more miniatures coming to both forces, including a magnificent chariot and one furious Troggoth. Knight Judicator with Griffhounds, these masterful archers of the Stormcast Eternals rain arrows on the battlefield. They can also direct the gaze of Sigmar himself to unleash his wrath. Stormstrike Chariot, wreathed in celestial energy that binds the foe. The Stormcast Eternals of the Angelus Conclave employ Swift Griff Charger chariots as potent line breakers. Of course, the Crawl Boys aren't quite done yet either. These should give you some idea of what else you can expect. Beast Skewer Killbow. Crawl Boys may be more cunning than most, but they're still Orruk at the end of the day. The fact they made this ridiculously massive crossbow is a fine example. Killbows are deadly to both large monsters and masses of foot troops, shooting straight through several at once. Breaker Boss on Maya Brute, Troggoth. Those war leaders who succeed in bending a Troggoth to their will are powerful indeed. The Breaker Boss will goad these lumbering behemoths into battle, literally pointing them in the direction of the enemy and letting them vent their rage. Keep an eye out for more news on both the Stormcast Eternals and Crawl Boys. Both armies are ready to be used on their own, straight out of Dominion or mixed into your existing collections, but these models are just the tip of the iceberg. Leap into the era of the beast. The new core book describes a more savage and cutthroat mortal realms. In the Dominion novel, Darius Hinks masterfully shows us firsthand the destructive forces that are on the rise in the realm of beasts and the indomitable defences of Excelsis as they are tested like never before. So much has happened since the end of Soul Wars. This is the best way to get a look at the new lay of the land. Learn more. The Warhammer Age of Sigmar website has been fully updated with information on the new armies and settings. Make sure to sign up for the newsletter so you get the latest updates as soon as possible. Sort of, they take a bit of artistic license with their likeness. So I'll leave Warhammer Age of Sigmar website in the description box below. Also, I'll leave the Warhammer community link to this article in the description box as well. So this was a look at Warhammer Age of Sigmar Dominion. If you liked it, could you please leave a like on the video? If you haven't already, please subscribe and also hit that notification bell for more updates on Warhammer Age of Sigmar Dominion. This was G The Hypersapien. As always, I appreciate you watching and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.